Hi, my name is Michelle Freeman and I run a company called the Crafty Foxes. I sell craft kits, I run after school clubs, I do hen do's, I do kids parties, loads of things. So do check out my website www.thecraftyfoxes.co.uk, or you can follow me on Insta or Facebook at the Crafty Foxes. So today I'm going to talk to you about how we make a garden lantern. This is a beautiful thing to do in the summer. So we're going to look at what you get in your kit, okay? So in your kit you will get some instructions on how to do it. You will get a recycled jam jar. Now I say recycled, they have all been dishwashed, but you may find there's still a little bit of gluey residue on there. Doesn't matter because you're going to cover it. I could have bought brand new ones, but I think it's much better that we're upcycling and using things that people no longer want. So you will have a recycled glass jar. You should have a bag with some butterflies and some beads in. The colours will vary, don't worry about that, it will still look good. You will have some blue tissue paper and some green tissue paper, which you will note has already been cut into the shape of grass. That's just to make your life a little bit easier. You will get an apron because we're using glue, some wire to make the handle, a tea light, a pot of glitter, and you will get a pot of glue. Now your glue will come with a lid on and it will look slightly different to this, but this is just to show you this is Mod Podge and that's what I use to make these garden lanterns. So I'm just going to pop some glue in here and then we can get started. So the first thing you're going to do is put your apron on. It's especially important when we're using glue. So the way the apron, if you lick your fingers, you should be able to open it out and then you can pop it around your head and then these bits will go around your waist. If you do find it's a bit baggy here, that's not a problem. You can just make it higher and knot it. This is the most important area to be covered. Now I don't need an apron because I've got my Crafty Foxes one on, but that's how it works. Okay, so what we're going to do first, we are going to rip up. Anybody that's done my decoupage or had a look at that video will know how to do this, but you are going to rip up your paper into squares. Okay, those squares are going to be roughly the size of a postage stamp. Okay, so keep going. Doesn't matter if they're not symmetrical. There we go. Doesn't matter if it's got a curved edge. We're not creating a jigsaw here. We're just going to overlap them and we are going to hopefully try and create some blue sky. Okay, so you are going to decorate 2/3 of your jar in these blue squares. So by that I mean up to about here. You're going to cover all of that in blue paper. Okay, I will show you how to do the first few and then we can fast forward to when it's done. So you are going to cover, now don't cover the whole jar with glue, because by the time you get to it, it may well have dried and you will have to add more glue, which is just a waste of time and a waste of glue. So you are going to push it on like that. Now you can use your fingers, which I often do, or you can use this special brush, okay? Or you might have a sponge that you can smooth it on with. Okay, so you can see there. You don't need loads of glue, but you do need enough to make sure that it has all been stuck down. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with that now. You can do the bottom if you want to, if you're enjoying yourself, but there's not really any need. It's going to hang from a tree, or perhaps you'll put it on a table, in which case you don't need to do the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going now until it has all been covered. Okay, so I actually changed my mind and I did just cover the whole of the jam jar. It doesn't matter because we're going to do grass around the bottom. So what you're going to do then, you might need to lick your fingers for this, you're going to open up the tissue paper. Now some of the jam jars are different sizes, as I explained, they're all recycled, so you've got different ones. So you may find that this is too long. Actually this one's perfect, but if it is too long, wrap it round and just cut it. It's fine to overlap. And then what you're going to do, you're going to just put some glue around the edge, and this is going to provide the grass on your lantern. So I would probably smooth this with your fingers because that way you can get a really good feel for where you're going. Smooth it out as you go. Be really careful. Tissue paper is really thin. We want it to be thin because we want it to be see-through when we put the candle in. But that does mean that it's slightly tricky, especially when you involve glue at the same time. Okay, so so this does overlap slightly. It's not a problem. We'll just smooth it across. Try and get those green bits to line up. There we go. Okay, so you might want to just go over it. We just want to make sure the pointy bits of grass have all stuck down. Okay, now remember that although this glue is white, it will dry clear. So what you're seeing now is not the overall effect. It will actually dry clear. So there we go. So the next thing we can do is add on our butterflies. So in your little pack, I'll put them on here so you can see them. You don't have to add these, but they do make it quite pretty. If you want to, when you've got the patience, you could fold the butterflies. So if you just fold them in slightly, then what you'll find then is that when you stick them, now they need a tiny amount of glue, stick them wherever you like. When you stick them, it gives the impression, it makes it three-dimensional, and it looks like the butterfly has just landed on your garden lantern, which I think looks really pretty. So just fold them a little bit, and you're going to stick those wherever you like. There we go. Using the Mod Podge, just let it dry before you try and move it anywhere. This is beautiful to light on a summer's evening. Right, so I think you've probably got around 15 butterflies. So again, it's how patient you are. There we go. You might decide that you've made a bit of a mistake and you've got a front and a back to your jam jar, so it might be that you only want to put the butterflies on the front. There we go. So I will keep adding them, and then I will come back and show you when they have all been. So you can see here where it's dried and I've put the butterflies on. What we're going to do now is everybody loves a bit of glitter, don't they? So we're just going to put some glue around the top, around the rim of your jam jar. Now I would do this over paper, do it over the instruction sheet if you haven't got anything else. And then what you're going to do, you're just going to sprinkle the glitter on. Okay, now the glitter is only going to stick where the glue is. So do only do this when the rest of the tissue paper has dry, else you will end up with glitter everywhere. Okay. There we go. Now, if you want to keep the place tidy and reuse your glitter, you can fold it up and pour it back in. There we go. We've hardly used any. There you go. Pop that to one side. So we have now got our jam jar, and it's got a glitter around the top. So last but not least, we need to add the handle to it. So what you're going to do, you're going to take one end of your wire and you are going to wrap it around the top of your jam jar. Now, you might need your grown-up to do this. And then you are going to twist it. Okay, so what you've got now is one end. Now be careful of this end, it is a little bit sharp. What we're going to do now is feed the beads onto this end. Now I could choose to do 3 yellow and then 3 purple, or I could alternate. Okay, so I think I am going to alternate. So I will do a yellow, a purple, a yellow, a purple, a yellow, and finally a purple. Okay, and then you're going to take this end and very carefully you're going to tuck it through the wire that you put on. Okay. You might want to bend it slightly just to give yourself a hook. Okay, now find out where you did that first twist. You want it to match that, and you are just going to twist the wire just so it won't come undone. Okay, there we go. And then you're going to pull the beads over the other side so it matches. So you have now got 3 one side and 3 the other side. Okay, and then you will pop your tea light in, hold the wick, pop it in, and that is your garden lantern finished.